Breaking news, new audio tapes are released of President Trump's unprecedented call to Georgia's top election official, leaning on him to find votes to overturn Joe Biden's win in the state. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jackie Bang.
And I'm Tamon Bradley.
The tape conversation Saturday captures President Trump's latest attempt to pressure a state official to reverse the outcome of the election he lost.
The audio was posted online today.
In a tape call first published by the Washington Post, President Trump demanded the Georgia Secretary of State find enough votes to overturn Joe Biden's win in the state.
I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
President Trump badgers and threatens Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger with vague criminal consequences.
You know what they did, and you're not reporting it. That's a criminal offense, and you can't let that happen. That's a big risk to you and to Ryan, your lawyer.
The president also tries to appeal to Raffensperger's political leanings.
You should want to have an accurate election, and you're a Republican.
We believe that we do have an accurate election.
The pressure the president puts on Raffensperger is the latest example of his attempt to subvert the outcome of the election. For weeks, President Trump has attacked top Georgia Republicans over his election loss. President-elect Biden's senior advisor, Bob Bauer, reacted in a statement. We now have irrefutable proof of a president pressuring and threatening an official of his own party to get him to rescind a state's lawful, certified vote count and fabricate another in its place. It captures the whole disgraceful story about Donald Trump's assault on American democracy. Vice President-elect Kamala Harris reacted while in Georgia.
Have you all heard about that recorded conversation? Well, it was, yes, certainly the voice of desperation. Most certainly that. And it was a bald-faced, bold abuse of power by the President of the United States.
Senator Dick Durbin called out the president's backers, saying his disgraceful effort to intimidate an elected official into deliberately changing and misrepresenting the legally confirmed vote totals in his state strikes at the heart of our democracy and merits nothing less than a criminal investigation. The president is unhinged and dangerous. The White House is not commenting on the tape. For the GOP, the political fallout could be enormous. Some Republicans are worried that President Trump's behavior could lead to GOP voters staying home in this week's Georgia runoff elections that will determine control of the U.S. Senate.
President Trump's allies in the House and Senate say they will object to the results of the elections in several states when Congress meets on Wednesday to confirm the Electoral College results.